FBA, also known as Fake Black Association, or FBI, Foolish Black Ignorance, is just modern day xenophobia wrapped in anti-African nonsense. FBA really stands for fear of being African. They swear up and down they don't resemble any Africans, like that's supposed to be a flex. It's giving self-hate and delusion. They love talking about racism in America and the KKK, but FBA's rhetoric mirrors white supremacy that you're talking about. It's starting to look like the new Triple K, just in black faces. Also, the obsession with calling anyone who disagrees an immigrant is wild. So what about Americans with 6+ generation here? Are they still FBA or nah? Or is it only the ones you imagine were removed from Africa 400 years ago? I would love to see their DNA and ancestry reports. Show us the paperwork. Where are you from? The sky? Anyway, critical thinking clearly isn't for everybody.
Don't go there. But do not ask others not to go there. None of your business. None of your business. And look, in Africa, when you get mad, and God make you mad, and you get into a market, you're finished. You cannot be healed. So be careful. When this madness of yours kicks in on August 1st, don't go to any other store, any other business, because that's where it ends for you. So I have spoken to you in a language that you're supposed to understand, which is African proverbs. But since you've been cut off from African reality and denying it, I have interpreted it for you.
Yes, you guys don't like Black Americans at all. You guys just say bad things about them. They are criminals. They are from slavery. They are not from Africa. They don't know their home. Oh, you know, it's so sad. All the time, you look at a black man and you tell them that, oh, you are from America. You are not African. You are not from Africa. You are lost. You are from slavery. I'm not a slave. You are a slave. Shame on you. Shame on you to even open your mouth. Do you know how painful that is? Whether they look like you or they don't look like you, they are your people. And you say to their face that you are not one of me. You are a slave. Wow. Do you know the pain that our ancestors went through? Just because you were not colonized does not mean you should open your mouth to call somebody a slave.
Saying that Black Americans are the real Indians isn't truth.
Yes, it is.
It's a result of deep generational brainwashing. It's colonial confusion, and it's internalized racism and anti-Blackness.
You just explained everything that happened to you guys in the 60s. Back then, you guys were forced into American U.S. government-owned public institutions to teach you that you were slaves and from Africa. But back then, you used to be in Black indigenous schools until you were forced out by desegregation.
By trying to find worth by claiming someone else's identity instead of embracing our own.
So why are you trying to be African? You guys aren't African.
Africa is not a myth. It's not lost. It's in our blood, spirit, and story. Let's please stop running from that.
Honestly, I don't even know why you want to be African so badly. You guys don't know anything about their history, their culture, their religion, anything about them. Yet, you want to be African because the government told you in the 80s that you're African.
We don't have to rewrite anyone else's history to reclaim our own power.
Yes, you do. That's what happened to you.
Geographically and historically, Africa is where our roots are, and I am not ashamed to say that, even though I have never been to Africa. West Africa is where most enslaved Black people were taken from. That's documented, that's proven.
All right, prove it. Where's the slaves? Where's the slave ships? Where's any proof? I tried asking ChatGPT for any tangible proof, and they couldn't give me anything. I tried going on Wikipedia to look for real images of slave ships, and this is all they have.
You can't hate the roots of a tree and not hate the tree. So why are we rejecting our roots?
Roots was just a propaganda film to make you think you were an African slave, and it worked.
Malcolm X didn't tell us to become someone else. He told us to reconnect with Africa, because Africa is our homeland.
All right, name 10 Africans. Honestly, I don't even know why I'm replying to you. You look like you're AI and none of your videos look real.
You don't need to erase native history to colonize theirs.
What if I told you you were the native indigenous people who were wiped out from history? Huh? That's Elvis. And what do those people look like?
Your Honor, the prosecution presents Exhibit B, Part 1, The Vanishing Indian. This man, Edward S. Curtis, photographer? Nah, architect of erasure. He didn't just document, he staged, told them to take off modern clothes, remove signs of life, and dress like something out of a movie. Curtis sold the idea that the real Indian was dying out, not evolving, not existing. But the truth, they didn't vanish. They got erased, visually, politically, spiritually. And that erasure helped fuel paper genocide, land theft, and forced reclassification, all off a fake photo op. This wasn't art, it was identity theft with a camera.
Now I can empathize and sympathize with the Black community. I've never been able to do that before because I would hear them say things like, oh, you know, we walk down the street and we get profiled and, you know, cops will just suddenly stop and frisk or whatever just because of the color of their skin. And I always thought like, you know, it's a little bit of a stretch. It feels like a little bit of a stretch. That person must be doing something, right? And obviously I've never experienced that before. I've never felt that way before and stuff. And so I always thought like, ignorantly, by the way, on my part, thinking like, you know, I think you guys are, because I'm brown, you know, I've never felt that and stuff like that, you know, I'm also a minority. But now, with us, it wasn't the cops. Cops aren't just randomly like, go and checking in the past. But now it's our turn, right? Now we feel it. Now we feel like, crap, can I just go down the street? Do I need my paper? You know, it's like, why are you stopping me? I'm a U.S. citizen. What the, we're not doing anything wrong. And now we're being persecuted. And so now I'm thinking like, crap, this is what the Black community meant, you know? And I kind of feel bad. Well, I don't kind of feel, I feel bad because I never really could understand where they were coming from or where you guys were coming from. But I can assure you that now that it's here with us too, it's like, crap. I honestly, legitimately didn't think it was real. But it's real as hell. And it's obviously minority groups that are targeted and persecuted pretty much. And it's right now with us is because we're brown. You guys have had your turn when, you know, cops were just in bigger cities, urban areas, stopping disproportionately, you know, the Black community and stuff. And I just want to say, like, I guess now I understand. I think moving forward, there's going to be a little bit more unity because we now can see where you guys are coming from. Well, at least I can, you know. And so, yeah, guys, I just want to say sorry for being ignorant before, but I hope this unites all communities, not just minorities, and call out things for what they are, regardless of the race.
This is Big Gil, the wealthiest man in Hades. Yes, the wealthiest and one of the most influential. He controls their economy. They're in imports and exports and infrastructure. Like 1804 is looking like a fool, like you won the lottery. Yeah, 1804 is looking like you won the lottery. Here's another one as a DJ. Yeah, whatever. Here's another one. Reginald controls, he's responsible for healthcare in Hades. He provided healthcare for over 500,000 Haitians. And he owns the biggest grocery store chain in Hades. It's like the Walmart of Hades. It's comparable to Walmart, right? And then telecommunications, your man O'Brien. He's responsible for over 70% of Haitians' mobile phones. So when you want to dial back and talk to one of your Haitian family members, it's because of this man. Now, I'm saying all this to say this. All these black countries, predominantly black countries, are controlled by foreigners. Is it that black leaders can't run their countries? Is that what this is? This will never happen in a predominantly white country. Y'all black foreigners are looking bad. Like y'all are taking L's after L's. Like LLC, like you sign up for the LLC. That's the L's y'all taking. LL.
You know, the one thing that always interests me whenever I happen to see these videos, number one, the lady, she wants to put on a red dress. Red is to basically say, look at me, is for an attention seeking type of deal. And you have her doing these exaggerated faces where she's always, wide mouth, showing her teeth, really opening her eyes, and all of these other types of expressions, while trying to act as though that she's intelligent enough to try to convey some type of point to say that Black Americans are basically racist against Africans, when again, that is just not the case. It's crazy to look at a lot of these Africans and many others speak on Black Americans while talking like us, right? Look at just listening to the vernacular, listening to the slang, listening to how she's trying to word or tie together certain words and certain statements. It's crazy to me. It's 100% crazy to listen and to see people like her and many others talk online and do this type of thing, this type of content online. Again, whenever Black people are specifically having a conversation directly to those out there online or wherever else that want to specifically talk about Black Americans, we're not automatically trying to fall into some African accent and use whatever African verbiage or whatever it is that you guys just so happen to have. That's not anything that we go out there and try to do. That's what you guys specifically try to do every time. And it makes no sense. Like I said, listening to some of y'all videos, especially when you guys are directly there from in the motherland, from Africa, you can't even cuss properly. You can't even just insert the curse words into a sentence that, conveys how it is that you feel. It just feels as though that you just heard something in, a 50 Cent song, right? And you just like, this would be a good way to sit up there and put this in there. Bow, let me just throw this in there. Or you might watched some Black television show and you heard a Black character say something or curse a certain type of way. You'd be like, oh yeah, when I sit up there and do a video, I'm going to sit up there and do this, I'm going to do that. That's crazy to me. And again, you guys always want to talk directly on us while at the same time, again, mimicking, copying, right? And again, y'all want to come directly over here to the United States and you want to try to masquerade, right? You want to cosplay as if you are us. You guys never tried to assimilate because you guys made sure to let us know that we are all different. Wouldn't it make sense that if we were all family, right? So that would mean if a Black American leaves the United States and goes over to Africa, he's going to assimilate into the African culture, right? When it deals with the foods and all of those great things, right? Because when the Rome do as the Romans do. But for whatever reason, whenever it deals with Africans, that's not what y'all tend to do. Y'all don't assimilate into Black America. You're like, we're separate. We're going to keep our identity. We'll kind of be in close proximity, but we're still going to be far enough apart where we are going to have our own individuality when it deals with us being Africans in America versus you, Black Americans. Crazy work. 100%. So last but not least, I just want to bring this up. Another thing that I'm very sick and tired of a lot of these people doing, being very vague. The woman there, she wanted to say that she was speaking in which Black Americans should be able to speak or understand, but we don't because we're so far cut off, right? She was like, it's an African, she stuttered, and then she said proverb, right? And she broke it down so that we could, understand it because we don't have the intelligence, right, in order to hear it. But if you go back and listen to what she said, there was a W that was about to come out. And to me, I'm like, oh, you're basically, talking on some witchcraft, level, type of deal. Like I said, y'all want to try to do or use whatever scare tactics. Y'all want to throw whatever it is that y'all feel that y'all have directly at Black Americans because y'all feel a certain type of way. And, like I said, I'm enjoying it along with a lot of other Black Americans because we are able for the first time really to see who it is that you guys actually are. We can see and identify that you guys don't actually love us, that you don't actually care. Because who in their right mind would decide to try to invoke a type of mysticism, a type of energy of which usually when you call upon certain energies, there has to be a trade. Everything has to be an even and equal type of playing field for things to work out. If it doesn't, it's going to work out very badly for the user. This is why a lot of people tend not to do those things themselves. They'll go to quote unquote a professional, whatever it is that you want to, call it, because you want that person to bear the burden, because there are known knowns and there are unknown knowns, right? Again, like I said before, if this is what y'all want to sit up there and do, I want y'all to fully understand that anything that you call upon, anything that you want to sit up there and use, is going to go right back to sender 1,000-fold. I want y'all to clearly understand that. It's great. You got your old gods of Africa, new and old, and all this other type of stuff. You got your ancient ancestors who are African. Like I said, whatever it is that y'all, I want you to understand, whatever you pull directly from, you're going to have to be able to give something equally. You're going to have to be able to do it. So like I said, I don't know who this woman is. I don't know what type of time she is on. But that's ridiculous. And another thing I want y'all Africans to sit up there and many others to understand, when it deals with Black Americans, y'all don't run nothing here. For you to try to tell Black people to not talk to their own people, to mind their business when it deals with things like this, and stop trying to tell other, y'all don't run nothing here. Y'all don't run nothing here. Y'all never did. Y'all don't run nothing here. Y'all never did. You better start doing that to your African brothers and sisters back home. You better start doing that to Europe. Like I said, you got a few nations, and I keep saying this every single video. Shout out to the few African nations out there that are standing up against Europe, against that European imperialism. Shout out to them. Shout out to them for kicking out those governments and those armies. Shout out to them for turning on the power, enabling jobs, food, agriculture directly to their own people. Shout out to them for keeping their gold reserves and not turning it over to Europe. Shout out to them. The rest of y'all, I don't know what y'all doing. Y'all sitting there like cowards. But y'all got so much energy, so many things to say about Black Americans, while you're sitting up there watching the few amongst the many stand up and stand for something, while the rest of you guys are just sitting back cowering in fear, allowing everything to just be everything the same way that it's always set up there and been, and really not trying to make a transition and or change. But you want to turn an eye directly over to Black Americans. For what reason? We're all the way, as a lot of people like to say, across the pond. Why are you worried about us? We're not moving nothing over there in Africa. Y'all got that. Y'all got the land. Y'all got the minerals. Y'all got the resources. That's really what y'all should be talking about. But for whatever reason, that's not where you guys are. You guys are fixated on us and what it is that we are doing, which is the craziest thing known to man. It's 100% crazy. And then on top of that, for her to sit up there and say that after you do this boycott, don't go to anybody else, because that'll be the end for you. That's it for you. What does that even mean? That's a very vague threat. That's a very vague threat. Like I said, when it deals with Black Americans, we don't deal in vague. We don't deal in gray areas. We normally come very direct, and we will say it directly to your face. We don't have time for people to play these cowardice type of games when it deals with you trying to speak directly to us. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. Y'all can be so brave and so mighty when y'all want to sit up there and call us, oh, you a kata, you slaves, and you have no history, you have no code, right? Y'all want to talk real greasy and real slick then. You want to be directly straightforward. But when it deals directly with us, you want to pull up to the scene with some type of African witch priestess, and you're trying to convey or send some type of spell or whatnot or whatever directly on us. Like I said before, that's not what family does. That's not what somebody would do to those who are lost or don't know or lack the knowledge of self, right? I never at a point in time would I ever think, if I even had the power to, I would never try to send some type of negative force or energy directly over to Africans. Like I said, this is clearly to show that Black Americans are vastly different from everybody else. Like y'all are going to some other far extreme extents which don't even make any type of sense. You understand the type of hatred that you got to have for another person to try to say that you're invoking something, or you're trying to send something their way, or you're trying to insinuate, some negative circumstance. That's some crazy work. But y'all trying to make it seem like y'all are so welcoming, that you guys are so loving. You guys are so sincere. You guys care so much. The only thing that you guys are so sincere about is the lies that you tell. That's exactly what you like to do. Like I said, every single time that I just so happen to see things up here, it's always great lies and great detail and barely a shred of evidence or facts. This is, again, for case point and example, why it is that Nigerians are pretty much getting kicked out everywhere. Sounds a little bit familiar historically speaking, but you know, this is why you got Nigerians getting kicked out, because you got people bringing debauchery, bringing all types of crime, bringing all types of thievery to a variety of these countries. Like I said, that's some crazy work, but these are the same people that when they get here to the United States and they spend a little bit of time and then they finally make it and they get some type of paperwork directly from white people, they want to parade it around along with their flag and say, yeah, we in here, we did this, we run this. You don't run nothing. You can't even run your country. That's why you ran away, because you can't run it. You can't afford to. Like I said, if anybody that's Black American, if you made it this far in this video, for the Black Americans, this is what I want you to do. And you'll be quite surprised and quite shocked, and you'll understand why Nigerians are over here. Number one, this is going to just be my prime example here. Look at, it should be called the Naira. If I'm incorrect on the terminology of the name, but I could swear I'm right. Look up the Nigerian dollar and compare that to USD. Look at how much USD it would take for you to become a millionaire in Nigerian money, and it would blow your mind. And when you looked at that, you'll figure out why it is that you got a lot of them over here trying to strive and get this and to get that. That's so that they can go back over there and showboat. They can go back over there and live like a king, start moving around like they really sitting up there doing something. Nah, all you sat up there and did is, you got a little bit of money, American money, which is worth more than yours, and you decided to convert that over to your money, and oops, now you're a millionaire. Now you can sit up there and buy you a nice mansion. Now you and your family, driving, through whatever hood that y'all got over there in some nice cars, some Range, Land Rovers, maybe some BMWs, right? And whatever it is, whatever high price car that they got up over there that they selling, yeah, that's what you pulling out now. Now y'all want to sit up there and showboat, like y'all made it, like y'all in here. Nah. Like I said, it's crazy work. Again, like I said to my Black Americans, look up, just do a lot of money comparison between the US dollar to other people's, and you will understand why a lot of them are over here. And then when they go back, they want to act as though that they're rich and they want to sit up there and showboat only because of the conversion rate. That's it. All due to the conversion rate. That is it. Like I said, that's my number one for me. I don't care whatever else anybody else got to sit up there and say. That money is the biggest reason why people are over here. I don't care if people want to sit up there and say, oh, they over here because, they want a better life. The only thing that you care about is the money. Just be real. Just say that you over here because of the money. Because you can, spend a little bit of time and do a little bit of work and some studying, and you can happen to, make 80 to 100K a year, depending on where you go. And then you can convert that over to your money, and you can have hundreds of millions of dollars in your money. Just say that. Just say that. That's all you got to sit up there and do. I just wish a lot of y'all would be honest. Stop with all of this nonsense saying that you're looking for a better life. You're just looking for better money. That's all you're trying to do. That's all you're trying to do. But like I said before, if we were really family, you wouldn't try to, put witchcraft directly on Black Americans. You would never try to do that, because I know at least I wouldn't. But anyways, like I said, that's the difference between Black Americans versus everybody else. We're raised differently. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I listed in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.